Your first UFC fight with a full camp. How much has that made all the difference going into this one?
It makes a big difference, just in cutting weight, like cutting weight in like 4 days. It's kind of hard, But so this one is going to be different now. I mean, I got the notice of 3 months ago, so it's a full camp. My weight is good, everything's good, so I feel sharp already.
Can we go back a little bit? Because the last one, when you fought Nasrat Haqparast, you had, it was short notice. You hadn't fought in a while. Just can you talk a little bit about where you were at? Like, were you training for another fight? Were you helping the other guys in camp? Just where were you at in terms of your preparation going into that one?
We were just kind of waiting for something to come up, because I had a long contract with Combate Americas, and I mean there was a little bit of trying to negotiation of stuff going on there, so it was kind of hard for them to let me go. So after I got let go, we were just waiting for the call, and we got it. We didn't think it was gonna be like a 4 day notice, but no excuses. I would tell everybody. Like, I mean, hats off to Nazareth. He took it at the end of the day. He won. But I mean, we'll see. I feel like we'll see each other in the long run. Uh,
I think for people who don't follow Combate Americas, now Combate Global, people may not realize just how big of a deal they were behind you. Like, for people who don't remember, you were, being flown everywhere with the belt. You were obviously the inaugural champion. They had the tournament to find an opponent for you. The promoter was out there doing commercials on Univision and Telemundo saying, this guy's the best lightweight in the world. He's going to be a superstar like Conor McGregor. And my question with that is that you're the face of that promotion. You're on every Friday, seemingly on Spanish television. And then you come to the UFC, which is the biggest promotion in the world, but you're on the prelims. And all of that noise, all of that attention is just not there. Can you talk a little bit about what that experience was like? Kind of, you obviously get the call you wanted, but things are, now it's also a little less attention than it was before on TV.
mean, it's understandable. I'm coming to a new company. It was like that in the beginning with Combate. I didn't get much attention either. I had to work my way up, so that's what I'm going to do with the UFC too. We try to work my way up, get a bunch of wins, get a bunch of finishes, and work up. My goal is always to be a champion and to be the best in the world. You got to be in the best company in the world. I thought it was time to move on. Me and my camp, my trainers, my managers, Coach Swanson, we all thought it was time to move on to the next step, and that's the next level. The UFC. It's the best of the best.
I'm assuming at some point there was a bit of a negotiation, kind of like other pro athletes. There's a bit of a, would they call it? Unrestricted versus a restricted free agent. Like you finish your contract, but they have an opportunity to match. Did they ever make a serious offer to try to keep you?
They made a serious. They made good offers, but my goal since I was little was to be the UFC champ. That's for me. That's like the biggest thing. Like for me, like I've always told everybody, like if you want to be recognized in the sport, you got to be UFC champ. That's how I feel. And that's the decision I took. I wanted to take it to another level. The UFC, another level. So, I mean, that was my decision. It was a no brainer.
Can I ask, because I do remember, sitting there and I would cover Combate and I would hear those commercials, and I just got to ask very bluntly, at a certain point, when you came to the UFC and like I said, less interviews, less of the attention, was there ever any like, that's kind of disappointing? Like, at any point, did you get used to being the man, so to speak?
No, if you think about it, for me, like I did a bunch of interviews with the UFC, just then, but it was so fast. In 4 days, I did as much as I could, but I feel like the UFC has more eyes. So just the attention that the UFC is bringing, I feel like it's a little more like combat. So it was like I feel like it's kind of equal. I did several interviews, but that doesn't bother me at the end of the day. What I like to do is fight. That's what I love to do, and coming to the UFC, I got to work my way up. I got to work my way up, got to get some wins, got to get some finishes, impress people, and keep putting my country and my city on the map, you know?
I'm glad you brought that up. Not like before. Now there are a bunch of fighters, in the UFC from Mexico, but there's just so much enthusiasm right now following Brandon Moreno's victory. I gotta ask, what was your reaction to that? Was there a little bit of saltiness that you couldn't be the first? Was it just happy for him to kind of put Mexico on, set the flag down with the UFC title officially in the promotion? What was your reaction to seeing him win it?
I was so proud of it, to be honest. I got the chills when I was watching the fight. Got the chills when they were saying before the fight, all the videos that were coming out, how he worked his way up from the Ultimate Fighter, everything that they were putting that he was a last pig, that he got dropped from the UFC, and then he came back to being the champion, being one of the top. I figured, oh, he's a beast, and the way he beat him, like I feel like Brandon just like shut Figueroa down like completely. Like it was a total dominance, and when I saw that, that just gave me the chills. And seeing his family walk in with his long time trainer coach Raul Arbizu that's trained him since he was little. So and seeing his faces, his teammates, and everything, it's just like motivating, because I want to do the same thing, the same goal, So I mean, there's no like saltiness or anything. That is just like more. I'm happy. Like I was really excited. Like I was jumping up the chair, like getting the chills. Was all these saying that the first Mexican champion. I was really proud. I'm happy for him.
Is it safe to say that as things open up, you'd like to be part of a UFC Mexico event? Because we're assuming, they're going to bring the guys like, yourself, Yair, Alexa Grasso, Irene, to Mexico. You've competed there for other promotions. Is it safe to say you want to be part of it with the UFC?
Yeah, that'd be awesome. Me and Brandon are from the same state, I'm from Mexico. He's from Tijuana. It's only a 2 hour drive, so I feel like we would get like if we could get like in it's called the Cholo Squinkles stadium, and it's the soccer team. So if we could make it there, that'd be awesome. I mean, I'm always down to go fight over there. And have all my Mexican people see me fight. That's awesome for me.
I want to shift gears to talk about your training because first recognized you. You were there in SoCal with the training lab. You're training with guys like Cub Swanson, TJ Dillashaw, Bellator champion Juan Archuleta. Uh, is that still your team? Because I also know you've done a little bit with Colorado. So I'd like to start. How'd you get first set up in SoCal, and then obviously how your training camps have evolved?
Uh, well, I met Cub Swanson in Mexico City when I fought in Combate. His brother, Steve Swanson, was the main event against Gustavo Lopez. So after my fight, my dad just started talking to Cub and his brother, and they were like, "Yeah, we train in Palm Springs." And my dad was like, "See, I told you they train pretty close to our house. Like we could probably go train with it." And it was like a 2 hour drive. So I started going every day, and me and Cub just became good friends. And he's my coach, my mentor, and my manager now. So I mean, we have a great relationship. And last year when Justin Gaethje fought Khabib, they brought me as a sparring partner for Gaethje, and we became really good friends with Gaethje. And I thought it was a good decision for me to come over here to Colorado since there's a lot of lightweight fighters over here in Colorado. So I made the decision to come over here and train, make my full camp over here.
Can I ask, I know Justin's there, obviously. Who else do you work with in Colorado? Who are your main training partners?
I trained with Justin, Drew Dober, Austin too. I don't know if you know Austin. I trained with him. I mean, there's a bunch of UFC fighters there, and just a lot of good athletes overall. Taiwan is there too. Taiwan Claxton, he's really good. And yeah, there's a bunch of them for me to remember all the names right now.
No worries. And who's the head coach that you guys have over there? Because I know Colorado, like I know Trevor Whitman's in there with some of the guys, but I do know that there are other coaches working. Who's your specific guy who runs your camp?
Um, well, right now, I mean, I got several coaches. Been training. I've been training like a little bit with Trevor, a little bit with Justin, Gaethje, and a little bit over there with there's another coach Jeho. That's his name. He's our kickboxing coach, and just Cub, like talking to him and telling him how everything's going because he's my manager and he's gonna be there in my corner. And I mean, we got a lot of several coaches, but I feel like we have a good team behind me.
Got it. To go back to it, because when I saw that, for people who don't realize just how good you are, you really got off to a great start in your career behind your grappling, behind your wrestling, being a lightweight. So when you say Justin Gaethje brought you in, I imagine it's because you were brought in to emulate Khabib, which is probably one of the best compliments another fighter could give you. Say like, hey, I need you to, I feel like you got the skill set to help me prep for the, probably best in the world right now. Just, can you talk a little bit about getting that phone call and just, they tell you, hey, like, you're kind of here to help me get ready for the best ever.
I mean, that was awesome for me, It was a privilege. It was actually Cub's idea. He was just like, hey, what do you think if I get you to go train over there at Justin so you could help him for the Khabib fight? I was telling him, yeah, that'd be awesome, but I never thought it was going to happen. And then like a week later, he called me like, hey, you know what? They're going to book your flight and everything. You're going to go over there and help them. And I mean, when it was awesome, Gaethje's such a nice guy. Like he's just like so helpful. He always giving like good advice. And right now, like training partner, one of my main training partners, I mean, he's like always like giving me advice, telling me what to do, what he thinks would be best for me. And I mean, he's another mentor, that's how I feel.
To shift gears now, fighting Chris Gruetzemacher, what is it about his game that brings a lot of challenges for you?
I mean, I feel he's just an aggressive fighter. He's always coming forward. I mean, his cardio is great. He's not gonna get tired. But I mean, one thing that I'm gonna try to do in this fight is to try to make him walk back. I mean, I'm the one who's gonna bring the pressure, try to walk him down, and try to finish him. Like always. I'm always trying to come in and try to finish fight, walking forward, no stepping back.
And then finally, just when you make your UFC debut on short notice, I think a couple people like, well, it was the prelims. They kind of passed the judgment a little too early. For fans who are kind of going to get reintroduced to you, Rafa, what do you want them to know about what you bring to the table as a fighter that they should tune in for?
I think it's, that I'm an excited fighter. I feel like I always come forward. I mean, there's no stepping back on me. I'm not never taking a step back. And I'm always coming to finish the fight, Like, I mean, I don't like to live with your judges. I'm there to bang, try to take you down, submit you, knock you out. I'm always trying to come forward, That's my goal. That's what I train for. And I mean, I feel like that excites the fans.
And finally, the message to the, Rafa Garcia supporters out there who are excited to see you back in action.
Yeah, well, thank you for all the support. Thank you guys for being so supportive. I feel all the support and all the posts I put and all the comments and everything. I mean, I feel the love, and I'm gonna do it for my hometown Mexicali, for all Mexico.
Well, Rafa, once again, like I said before the interview, I've seen your career really take off, as you got more and more attention and develop as a fighter. I was very proud when I saw that you got the call up to the UFC, and really just all those good experiences I've had with you personally, on and off camera. So I just want to say thank you for the time. Congratulations and best of luck. Guys, once again, Rafa Gifted Garcia, you could see him take on Chris Gruetzemacher July 31st at the UFC Apex. You are not going to want to miss it.